Hey everybody, it's John, and just a quick message before the show starts today. Wendy and I are very excited to say that we're going to be taking part in Namely's HR Redefined 2019 conference, which is being held May 5 through 7 in New York City. We hope you can join us as we're going to hear some amazing speakers, meet a lot of industry experts, and build our networks. If you go to hrredefined.namely.com, you can use the code HRR196 at checkout and you'll get 50% off your ticket. So again, hrredefined.namely.com. Use code HRR196 at checkout for 50% off. Can't wait to see you there. And now on to the show. Hello and welcome back once again to the HR Social Hour Half Hour Podcast. This is episode 60. John and Wendy talk to Tessa Brown. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Wendy. How are you, John?
I am great. Wendy, I want you to talk a little bit about, if you would, here at the open. Typically we talk at the end about how to get a hold of us.
Right.
I thought you would come up with a great idea, though, to make sure that we stay in touch with people. And I want you to talk a little bit about that, if you would.
Sure. Yeah, we had a crazy idea that maybe we need to start a newsletter because we don't get enough emails throughout the week, right? But, I hear about people, I haven't listened yet. I forgot about the chat. And so maybe we need to give y'all a little extra hit, a little extra reminder of podcast and the chat. So we're going to start a newsletter. It'll come out on Fridays. Check the show notes for the link to sign up for that. And if you sign up, we've got a fancy new sticker that you can use as you see fit. That we'll give to you. But we send out a little newsletter on Fridays, just a reminder of any podcasts that have come out that week, what's coming up as far as the chat. And, with SHRM19 coming up, want to be able to share with you all where we're going to be, what's going on. We've got a lot of exciting, fun stuff planned, and we don't want you all to miss out. So we want to be able to see where we're going to be and what's going on, and if we have other fun stuff going on throughout the year, because John's getting ready to head to Work Human. I've got a couple of stuff planned for this fall. So we want you to be able to keep up with us.
And for those of you that are wondering, these are real stickers. These are not digital stickers.
Real stickers, yes.
We are doing some laptop stickers with the logo. Many of you have show pins already. Stickers are a little easier, and hey, you can put it on your skateboard or your laptop or whatever you want. So
anywhere you want.
Yeah, we'll have it in the show notes. Anywhere you want, we'll have it in the show notes. Hope you will sign up for the newsletter. Want to be as inobtrusive as possible, but like Wendy said, we know sometimes people miss and they, I can't believe I forgot. Well, hey, just a little nudge. So enough little extra reminder. So enough newsletter talk. Super excited about our guest tonight. I'm gonna let you make the introduction, and we will get going.
Very excited to welcome Tessa Brown to the show tonight. I got to meet her at SHRM VLS almost a year and a half ago, which is fantastic. She is currently the HR manager at CCI Pipeline Systems in South Louisiana. With 13 years of HR experience, she has truly always been passionate about people. Tessa is an active volunteer leader and is looking forward to chairing the Acadiana SHRM 2019 Conference Committee. So, Tessa, welcome to the show tonight. And our first question is, what's in your glass?
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to join the party. And in my glass is water, but it's in my favorite LSU cup. So that brings me joy.
Go Tigers.
Tessa, is it the LSU?
No, just LSU. We don't focus on but it is the LSU for me.
Fair enough. Well, Tess, I know we had a chance to meet last summer in Chicago for a few minutes, and I know a little bit about what you're doing now, but I don't know a lot about your history. How exactly did you get your start in HR?
So my undergrad is in public relations. I knew nothing of human resources. LSU even has a human resources degree. I had no idea what that even meant. So I go out into the work world and I discover what it is. And so I'm not one who fell into it. Once I learned, really about the function of the department and what you could really do for people, then that became my focus, my choice for a career. So I networked And I talked to the folks in the HR department at the company that I was at, and I just bothered them enough, I guess, until they let me in. So I started in payroll, which I wish not to return to. And so started in payroll, just kept going, got into training, and then got into HR manager or business partner type roles. And it just went from there.
That's very cool.
I don't think we've had anybody say they don't want to go back into something, so I give you some credit for that, Tessa, that you're willing to admit what you don't want to do.
Right. And you know, we talk to newbies a lot, and one of the things that I always say is, you know, your first role may not be the thing that you want to do, but just, you know, try it out, you know, earn your keep, and you'll get eventually to where you want to be. But
That is true.
don't be mad if that first thing it isn't your dream role.
There's a lot of options in HR. There's a lot of options.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Tessa, you've been an HR department of one, which brings its own challenges. But what do you think the biggest challenge facing HR departments of one is?
So most of my career has been as an HR department of one, and both of the organizations I created that role at those companies. So that brings about its own challenges, you know, being the first there. For HR department of ones, even when you have, outside of the regular challenges for HR people, you know, being recognized, strategic, all those things, for an HR department of one, you're usually at a smaller organization. So you may not have the financial resources. You may not have really the managers who understand really what you're doing, what your purpose, what your role is. There's a lot of educating that you have to do. And then for when you're the one, it's all you. You're doing all of the functions yourself. So even if you don't like payroll, hey, you got to do that too. Your payroll, your benefits, your onboarding, your recruiting, you're the everything. And so sometimes time, stress, all of those things come into it because you're relied on and dependent on being a pro because it all falls on you. Then the other thing that I thought of for an HR department of one, that's a big deal for me, is the collaboration. I'm a big team person. When you're the only one, you don't have anyone to collaborate with. You may have those managers who you can work with on different initiatives and projects and things like that. But as far as truly your human resources function and your goals, there's no one to collaborate. When you're stuck, we all get stuck. You know, you don't have an internal person. So I would say you need to create your team internally or externally. And I learned along the way that that's really what needed to be done. Just make your own team. And that's what's been most successful for me.
How did you go about building that outside team?
So building your outside team is a couple of ways. First is your vendors. When you're one, you need to get some good vendors, build those relationships. They're your team. Make sure that you're getting everything you need from them. Get your money's worth. And they'll partner with you on getting it done. They want to be successful for you as well. So definitely your vendors. And then secondly, one of the reasons why I've become so active in my local and state chapters is because those folks are people that I can rely on. I trust them. I began to network with them. I began to find other people who were also in HR department of one, and then those who are not. And so building those trusting relationships that you can go to when you're in a pinch, when you have a question, when it's a new situation, or even if you just want to vent. You really need that. And I wasn't necessarily so strategic about it, but I was intentional about it. I'm not good on an island. So I made sure when I was finding myself in an island, I made sure to develop my own little village.
You mentioned briefly Tessa, about being involved at at all levels with SHRM, and beyond the connections piece, and especially developing that Department of One gang or support group, because you hear so much about it from SHRM these days. But what beyond that keeps you volunteering, and what's been your favorite or most memorable role in that time that you've been volunteering?
So volunteering is all me. I love it, and I'm so tickled that I get to combine my profession and volunteering. That's great that I could just pull it all in one. And what keeps me doing it? So I'm local level, and I'm a board member. I've been on the board of Acadiana SHRM for a few years. Right now, my current role is past president. On the state council, I'm now part of the Louisiana State Council, and then doing some things with SHRM on national level. But my favorite thing has been as president of Acadiana SHRM, because and maybe it's because I'm so used to being in HR department of one, but I like not having to focus on one thing and being able to provide leadership to all the different roles, because you get to touch a little bit of everything. You get to see the kids on campus with the college recruiters and the director of that department. You get to work with membership and onboard new people. I love being able to connect those people who feel like they don't have a connection. Maybe they're not a one, but they're not really jiving with their team members. Well, come hang out with us. So I really enjoyed as president being able to be involved with each area, and then also the other opportunities that it afforded me with going to SHRM VLS, which has been my most favorite experience, my most favorite conference and experience in the profession. It was really, really great, so much growth, and I loved the day on the Capitol, loved it, all of it, left so invigorated and ready to get stuff done. So it keeps me fueled.
It's a great fueling.
I feel like I miss out on VLS. Wendy meets everybody there. She's done stuff. She always talks about how cool it is. I don't live that far from DC. I have to figure out a way to take part at some point, because I hear so many great things about it all the time, and I just have to throw that out there.
Oh, it was my favorite experience. It really was.
It was good. But, John, you may have missed out on VLS, but you don't miss out on National. And this year is going to be even more fun, because Tessa's going to be up there enjoying some bacon with us in the Bloggers Lounge. So,
bacon?
You haven't heard about the bacon, Tessa?
No.
Oh boy.
Yeah. There's a morning they bring in bacon for breakfast, and it's a great big giant tub of bacon. It's awesome.
Oh man, I'm with the right group.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And we are so excited you're going to be a part of the team this year. So what are you looking forward to most about being a part of the Blog Squad in Vegas?
So that's a totally new experience for me, right? I was so involved with NextChat and building that, building my own little virtual village and all that. And I went to the social with the Blog Squad at SHRM19 and all the other fellow NextChatters. I was like, oh, this is so fun, so exciting. I could do this. And then Mary and I chatted a little bit, and she was like, of course you could. And that was the last time we talked about it, So I was like, oh, wow. And so the elation when I got the email. So I'm so excited about, it's going to be my third national conference.
Awesome.
And I'm so excited about doing it a different way. I wasn't sure that I was going to be going, but I surely am. And just getting a different experience out of it. And of course, getting to talk with speakers beforehand, kind of getting the inside track and get people prepped and ready. That's so fun. I would be lying if I didn't say that the part I'm most excited about is seeing everyone in real life and getting to know everyone, the Blog Squad, and whomever else we're able to meet on a more personal level. I'm so pumped up about that.
There's something really nice about that in-person connection. And, and I don't know about you, Tessa, but I've said it for a while that it's nice to know people before I know them. We've been stalking each other for a while, So, it's nice to be able to say, hey, I'm going to meet this person in real life. And that was part of the fun of VLS, was meeting a lot of those folks in real life in a smaller venue, because SHRM National is just so huge. And Vegas is just going to be, people are going to be spread out all over the place. So, but yeah, that in-person connection is huge. And I think that the social media start just enhances it for me.
I agree. So it's not ever that, as extroverted as I am, there's none of the awkward intro.
Right.
No, I know you. So come here, give me a hug. I'm hugging it out. I kissed Kyra on her cheek when my first time I met her.
Oh, and she loved it.
She
loved it.
She did. I'm so glad it was her. I am so sorry. That goes against all of human resources. I'm so sorry. She was like, "No, I love it."
Yeah,
so it was
that is
good.
Kyra. That is complete Kyra.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, Tessa, it is now time for everyone's favorite part of our show, the half-hour question connection, new and improved for 2019. Our first question is, who was your first professional mentor? And what was the most important or impactful thing you learned from them?
Acadiana SHRM has a mentor group.
Nice.
That was really, quite honestly, the first time that I was successful at making sure I had a mentor, which should have been done sooner. Anyway, so they have a never too late. That's right, never too late. So they had the group, and at the time I was a mentee, and so a great group of mentors. But Jeannie Tatum was in that group, and I learned from her as much as there were so many things that I marveled at from her, and that she taught me directly and indirectly. We had a disc profile session, and I'm very much an I, and she's very much a D. And so she and I talked a lot about communication and with leaders, and that happened to be something that I was maybe having challenge with at my organization at the time. I don't know if I'm being heard. And so hearing her out, how someone in her, with her personality and her role, kind of how they deal with communication, how they speak, what's their intent, how they like to be spoken to, what is the best way to make sure you're heard. And just having that good interaction, no judging, that was so great, and something I was able to take right back to my job, and it improved the work that I was doing there, and I'm sure that the leaders there were very appreciative of that time that Jeannie and I took going through that. So, and I am too, and so I pay it forward. I share that same conversation with others who having similar struggles.
Tessa, who's one person you've gained in your network in the last year that you think more people should know?
I kind of hop around. So something catches my eye, especially on Twitter, there's so much info. Something catches my eye and I'm hopping around. But I would say over the last year, I have been going back to Black Blogs Matter and the Buzz on HR, Sarah Morgan. Just going back and revisiting some of her new stuff, and then reading some of her past stuff. She's been doing it a while. So I know she's not new to everyone, but I've been digging in to a lot of her stuff here lately, and I'm enjoying it.
She's so wonderful. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to meet her, she'll blow you away. I love Sarah.
I'll send her a note, see what she's doing in June.
There you go. So, Tessa, if you could go back to the start of your career, what's one piece of advice you would give yourself based on what you know now?
Well, now that we've been talking, I really would say be bold. First of all, be bold and confident. I think because I did not go into it with the HR background, I thought everyone had it. So hearing stories later that people just kind of fell into it, I was like, oh, I wish I would have known that. So being bold and confident in it, and going for it, seeking out those mentors and really digging in. Don't be as I think I was a little bit timid at it in the beginning when I really should have just went for it. And so that's what I would tell younger Tessa, and anybody else hoping to get into human resources. Lots of people ask me, well, what do I do? I've been in accounting and banking and all these other industries, but I kind of think I want to do human resources. And so that's what I would tell them.
Tessa, we've talked a little bit about your volunteering. How else do you enjoy giving back to the HR community?
Well, I give back a whole lot in those realms. So takes up a lot of my time doing that, but time well spent and that I enjoy. Really making sure that I do a great job with those roles. My Acadiana SHRM local chapter and Louisiana State Council, they've had great leadership for quite some time, and I always want to leave it the way that I found it or even better. And so whenever I'm called upon, to be a guest speaker at an event or whatever that's needed, I just always want to be sure that I'm available and that.
What's your favorite movie?
This one, so hard. So I thought of one. No, it's my favorite. Oh, no, that's not exactly my favorite. So I'm everywhere with movies. I love movies. I'm a rom-com. I'm a classics, musicals. But I kind of settled in on what makes me laugh and what do I go back to, and I would watch it from start to finish any time I had the chance, and that's Coming to America.
That's a good choice.
Love it. I can just laugh and laugh. My girl, and I'm not a movie quoter at all. Like some are so good at that. That's not me, but I can do those. My girlfriends and I love it. I love that movie set. If someone calls that my favorite movie, I will not mind.
That's a good one.
How about your favorite musician or band?
Almost equally as hard to pick just one, but I definitely have one favorite album if I could do that, and that is My Life by Mary J. Blige.
Oh.
The 1996-ish, probably, 94, 96. She's not my favorite artist, but I've told many a friend, if we're ever on a game show, then that's the question. Your answer is My Life by Mary J. So that is my favorite.
How about a favorite TV show?
This was the easiest. So right now, my favorite TV show is This Is Us. So are y'all familiar?
Familiar. Haven't watched it because I'm not up for a cry fest.
So you know everything you need to know. It's so well written, though it's not that. Just that it takes all of your emotions and spins it around. It's really well written, and the topics that they address, they do it so well. And then, you get to have a good fun every now and then. But I will say, this third season hasn't been a tear fest as before, and that's kind of good. That's healthy.
Need a break.
You need a little break, but still very interesting, but not the tear fest as it was before. But such a good show and very, very well written.
Tessa, as I look for a connection, I do an 80s podcast, and Coming to America was my number 3 movie of 1988. Nothing beats Die Hard, but Wendy and I can have that conversation some other time.
I like the movie. I enjoy Die Hard.
But having said all that, if you're not watching Coming to America or listening to My Life or watching This Is Us, what else do you like to do outside of work?
Oh, outside of work. So I love hanging out with the fam, of course. I'm a big Tiger fan, so I love rooting for the Tigers, definitely during football season. So yeah, that's pretty much how I spend my time with the family and all of our different Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, being a mom and wife. But anytime I get out and root for the Tigers, that's a special treat.
Well, now I know who to contact when I need some Boy Scout popcorn.
Yes, please. I'll talk to you in August.
Got plenty of cookies. I don't have a popcorn connection yet.
All right, I got you covered.
Nice. Tessa, if you weren't in the HR profession, what do you think you'd be doing professionally?
Well, listen to other podcasts, and everyone has such great answers. For me, I would actually love to be a wedding planner.
Oh,
I would love it. I would do the whole J-Lo with the little mic, and I'd love that. So,
Tessa, I think you're the first person to say that. And I think with your Department of One background, I can totally see why you would think that would be a great spot for you, running it all and leading it all. Like we always say, though, we're glad that you're not doing that, because if that was the case, Wendy and I don't have a wedding podcast, and so we probably wouldn't be talking to you. Really, really appreciate you taking some time with us tonight. Really excited to have you as part of the Blog Squad in Vegas this summer. For those listeners that don't know you or that aren't following you right now, and now that they've heard you, I'm sure they will, what's the best way for them to reach you out there?
so I'm most active on Twitter, and you can find me there at Tessa Brown HR, as well as LinkedIn. You'll find me at that same handle.
We will have that in the show notes. Wendy, how about you? What's the best way for our listeners to find you?
best way is always on my blog, mydailyjourney.com. Daily is D as in dog, AILEY. And the fourth Sunday of each month, you will find me on Twitter as part of the HR Social Hour Twitter chat. Fourth Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. How about you, John?
Friendly reminder that we'll have the sign up for the newsletter. You can always find us there now, which is a great way to connect and find out more. If you're trying to find me, hrsocialhourpodcast.podbean.com. Look at the left-hand side of the screen at the top. You'll see 3 lines. Click there, open up. You'll see all our links to the social accounts, and you can listen and download shows that you haven't heard before. Always ask for ratings, reviews, whatever platform you're using. If you share, it helps us boost the signal. We've gotten a couple new reviews lately. We really appreciate those folks taking part and taking just a minute or two to help out in that way. And again, we don't ask for much, but we always really do appreciate it when you're able to help us that way. Again, Tessa, thank you so much for being with us tonight. So for the HR Social Hour Half Hour Podcast, I'm John.
And I'm Wendy. And as always, be sure to connect,
give back, and
network.
Take care, everybody.
We'll see you soon.